Today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should fire your loan officer, or dump them, or find a new loan officer. My name's Miles Pitcher. I'm the owner of Superior Lending. I've been in the business for 21 years. I'm a licensed loan officer, and these reasons I run across quite often when I get people coming to me for second opinions, or maybe they're in a transaction and things aren't going so well. So let's jump into this. Number one of the biggest reasons is communication, or not calling you back. If a loan officer is not responsive to you, that is a major red flag. Now, granted, there are many times, especially in my own team, that I have other people involved in my team who will communicate with the client and the real estate agent, and that works great too. But you should be able to get answers and be able to have communication super fast. So if you reach out to a loan officer and they don't get back to you in a timely fashion, look for someone else. Number 2, you need an experienced loan officer. So there is a website out there. So every loan officer is required to be licensed in the state that they do business in and registered with a government agency or website called NMLS, Nationwide Mortgage Licensing System. And there's a consumer portal in there where you can go look up a loan officer and you can see their work experience. So I'm going to throw up an example here. This is a random person who I don't know. I looked them up. They work for a online lender, and I just picked them very first off the list and pulled up their work history. As you can see, the end of 21, they were unemployed. They got hired in January of 22, and so they have a total of 10 months in the business. Is that an experienced loan officer, or would you rather look for someone that has years of experience that can help you out? So you utilize that to check somebody's work experience and see if they're experienced. I would also caution you against using online lenders. I would caution you against using big box lenders. And then banks and credit unions. So I have mixed feelings on these because many times they have some loan programs that are just unique to that bank. However, you may run into inexperienced loan officers. I've had clients who were presented a loan option at a bank and it sounded wonderful, and I told them, I said, that is great if they can actually do it. But they got into the loan 2 weeks later and came back and said they couldn't do it for us, or they couldn't give us the rate that was promised. So just be careful on banks and credit unions. I'm a huge fan of mortgage brokers because they have loan options and they tend to find fabulous rates for their clients. All right, number 3. I believe a loan officer should present to you loan options. A loan officer should not just be facilitating a transaction. They should be advising you, planning, educating, and solving problems on your file. So when we meet with a client, we look at the primary top reasons. We look at what is your monthly payment going to be, what are your closing costs going to be, and what's your down payment going to be on the loan. And we really counsel about that monthly payment, making sure it fits your budget so you don't go into home feeling house poor. You really should get options from your loan officer because there are ways that you can present the very lowest rate possible, but it may cost you more in fees. Or there is an option that will give you the lowest rate with the lowest fees possible, or maybe there is a loan option where the lender can give you a credit to help cover closing costs, but the rate's slightly higher. Those options should be presented to you and discussed so that they can fit your needs. Number 4, not answering your questions. This goes back to number 3 a little bit, but I believe a loan officer should be a good listener and they should hear what your concerns are. They need to be an educator and answer your questions. If you don't feel like your questions are getting answered, it's a red flag. Time to look for another loan officer. Number 5, I get calls all the time with people saying, what's your rate? What's your rate? Well, there's a lot that goes into what your rate is. So if you're talking to a loan officer and you ask them, hey, what is the rate? and they spit out a rate, that's a concern, because an experienced loan officer is going to want to see the whole picture, understand your goals and your objectives, and help guide you and advise you to what's going to be very best for you right now, but also in the future, and achieving financial goals. One of the red flags I see often is a incomplete cost breakdown. Your loan officer should be giving you a fee worksheet or a loan estimate that totally outlines all the fees and costs of the loan, so you can see that picture right up front. If you're not getting that, you should look for another loan officer. Again, this is a massive financial decision in your life. You need an experienced loan officer to help you out. If you're not getting one, you should look elsewhere. Now, if you're in the middle of a transaction and you have an appraisal already, you may have to pay for that appraisal, but most of the time appraisals are transferable. They can be moved to another lender. You need to be careful on your deadlines if you are switching lenders. So just be aware of those things, but hopefully this helps you. The last thing I want is a client to get in a tough spot where their dream home is jeopardized because they have an inexperienced or a loan officer that doesn't communicate well. Thanks for watching this video. My name's Miles Pitcher. Please remember to subscribe and like to this channel. Thank you.